Welcome to our channel. In today's video, we're diving into the world of true crime with some of the most notorious and intriguing cases in history. From famous serial killers to perplexing unsolved mysteries, we'll be exploring a range of cases that have captivated the public and puzzled law enforcement for decades. So come along with us as we uncover some of the most unbelievable and mysterious crime cases in history. You won't want to miss this one. In 1996 is a high-profile crime case that has garnered widespread attention over the years. 6-year-old JonBenet Ramsey was found murdered in her family's home in Boulder, Colorado, and the case has been the subject of numerous books, television shows, and movies. While several theories have been proposed over the years, the case remains unsolved and has been the subject of intense media scrutiny and public fascination. The disappearance of Madeleine McCann, who vanished from a holiday resort in Portugal in 2007 at the age of 3, is another well-known crime case that has garnered significant attention. Despite an extensive search and investigation, Madeleine has never been found and the case remains unsolved. The O.J. Simpson murder trial, which took place in 1995, is another high-profile crime case that captivated the public. Simpson, a former NFL player and actor, was accused of murdering his ex-wife Nicole Brown Simpson and her friend Ron Goldman. Despite overwhelming evidence against him, Simpson was acquitted in a highly publicized and controversial trial. The Ted Bundy murders, which took place in the 1970s, are another well-known crime case involving a notorious serial killer. Bundy, who was eventually executed for his crimes, is believed to have murdered at least 30 people in several states across the United States. His charming and charismatic persona made him a media sensation and his trial was highly publicized. The Jeffrey Dahmer murders, which took place in the 1980s, are another infamous case involving a serial killer. Dahmer, who was eventually sentenced to life in prison for his crimes, is believed to have murdered at least 17 people and dismembered their bodies. His case garnered significant media attention and remains one of the most well-known serial killer cases in history. The Amanda Knox case, which took place in Italy in the late 2000s, is another high-profile crime case that garnered significant media attention. Knox, an American exchange student, was accused and then eventually acquitted of the murder of her British roommate. The case was the subject of numerous books, documentaries, and media. The Charles Manson murders, which took place in the late 1960s, are another infamous case involving a cult leader and his followers. Manson and his family of followers were convicted of murdering 9 people, including actress Sharon Tate, in a series of gruesome killings. The case was highly publicized and Manson, who was serving a life sentence, remains a household name. The Unabomber case, which took place in the 1980s and 1990s, is another high-profile crime case that garnered significant attention. The Unabomber, whose real name is Ted Kaczynski, was a radical environmentalist who mailed bombs to universities and airlines, killing 3 people and injuring 23 others. Kaczynski was eventually caught and sentenced to life in prison. The Beltway sniper attacks, which took place in the Washington, D.C. area in 2002, are another well-known crime case that captivated the public. The attacks, which were carried out by 2 men over a 3-week period, left 10 people dead and several others injured. Both suspects were eventually caught and convicted of the crimes. The Laci Peterson murder, which took place in 2002, is another high-profile crime case that garnered significant media attention. Laci Peterson, who was 8 months pregnant at the time of her disappearance, was later found murdered. Her husband, Scott Peterson, was eventually convicted of her murder and is currently on death row. The Jodi Arias murder case, which took place in Arizona in 2008, is another well-known crime case that received widespread media attention. Arias was accused of murdering her ex-boyfriend and was eventually found guilty in a highly publicized trial. She is currently serving a life sentence in prison. The Casey Anthony murder case, which took place in Florida in 2008, is another high-profile crime case that received widespread media attention. Anthony was accused of murdering her 2-year-old daughter, Kaylee, and was eventually acquitted in a controversial verdict. The case remains a topic of public fascination and debate. The Christopher Dorner case, which took place in California in 2013, is another well-known crime case that received significant media attention. Dorner, a former police officer, was accused of murdering several people, including law enforcement officers, in a series of shootings. He was eventually tracked down and killed in a confrontation with police. The Boston Marathon bombing, which took place in 2013, is another high-profile crime case that garnered widespread attention. Two brothers, Jakar and Tamerlan Tsarnaev, were accused of planting bombs at the marathon, killing 3 people and injuring over 260 others. Tamerlan was killed in a confrontation with police, while Jakar was sentenced to death for his role in the attacks. The Maria Martinez case, which took place in Spain in 2015, is another well-known crime case that received significant media attention. Martinez, a Spanish nurse, was accused of murdering several of her patients through lethal injections. She was eventually convicted of murder and sentenced to life in prison. The Golden State Killer case, which took place in California in the 1970s and 1980s, is another high-profile crime case that received widespread attention. The Golden State Killer, whose real name is Joseph James DeAngelo, is believed to have committed at least 13 murders and 50 rapes during a spree that spanned several years. He was eventually caught and charged with the crimes in 2018 after being identified through DNA evidence. The Harvey Weinstein case, which made headlines in 2017, is another well-known crime case that received significant media attention. Weinstein, a Hollywood film producer, was accused of sexual assault and harassment by numerous women and was eventually convicted and sentenced to 23 years in prison. The case sparked the #MeToo movement and brought attention to the issue of sexual harassment and assault in the entertainment industry. In conclusion, there have been many notorious and intriguing crime cases throughout history that have captivated the public and puzzled law enforcement. From infamous serial killers to perplexing unsolved mysteries, these cases have left a lasting impact and continue to be the subject of public fascination and debate. Some of the cases, such as the Jack the Ripper murders and the Zodiac Killer case, remain unsolved and continue to generate new theories and speculation. Others, such as the Charles Manson murders and the Jeffrey Dahmer case, have been solved and resulted in convictions of the perpetrators. Regardless of the outcome, these crime cases have left a lasting impact and will continue to be remembered as some of the most notorious and intriguing in history. If you liked this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and leave a comment letting us know what you thought. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more interesting content like this. Thanks for watching.